Okay, so I'm gonna say one thing, and I'm gonna say that Michael Jackson had a lot of self-hate problems, and a lot of black people have been, and white people. I know white people, they don't. I know people love him. Millions of people love him, and they don't even want people to say anything negative about him. But I'm gonna tell you people this: Michael Jackson was skin bleaching. People say, "Oh, he had a disease, vitiligo, whatever it's called, where black African Americans get they have white spots on their bodies and faces, or they go from black to white." No, Michael Jackson was dark skinned as a child. He had an afro. I remember watching his videos on YouTube. If you watch his videos on YouTube from the time he was a child to a teenager, early 20s, he had an afro. He was dark skinned. How did he go from a dark afro to dark skin to a light skin? If you watch him from 1979 when he had that big old afro, the big nose, and you watch it from when he did that Thriller album, which came out in the early 80s, early mid 80s. His skin's lighter. He has curly hair. And he even talks in a different way. He talks in a high voice, in a very, so he acts like a white person. So yes, he had self-hate problems, and the self-hate problems came from Joe Jackson, his father, who was abusive. There are stories that Michael Jackson would say, "Okay, my father would, if I mess up, if I did something wrong." Michael Jackson was a perfectionist. He couldn't screw up at anything in life. He had to sing perfect. All his brothers would beat. If they screwed up, they would have to go outside, get a branch, and his father would whip them with it. They get butt whippings. They get hit. They get punched. There were times with his father, Joe Jackson looked like a little nice guy, but he was rough. He was very abusive, verbally abusive. He would make fun of them. And this is why all his brothers got married before they were 20, 21 years old. I think a lot of his brothers got married when they were 18. Once they turned 18, they got married and they moved out the house. But Michael Jackson stayed in the house until his 20s and dealt with that abuse. And then he started changing. He started doing surgery to his body, making his skin look lighter and lighter. And then by 1993, he looked like a whole different person. He went from a black kid to a white woman. Really, people noticed it. And then not only that, he was accused of molesting a 13-year-old boy, 13, 14-year-old boy in 1993, Jordy Chandler, and that ruined his life. And he ended up paying Jordy Chandler about 20, 25 million, 30 million. And that was it. And yeah, I mean, he's done surgery. I mean, he didn't have no disease. I didn't see it. He bleached his skin. He had money, because he didn't want to look, because he looked just like his father. So he feel like, okay, he bleached his skin. He do surgeries to his body. He can look in the mirror and not see his father because he looked exactly like his father. Joe Jackson, all of them did, but they all resembled their father. So I can see the self hate that he had, and that's pretty much it.